We are going live. I think we are live. Yo, yo, yo. Tell me what you know. Welcome to the Sunshine Show. Woo! You guys, I have a special treat for you tonight, today, this morning, wherever you may roam in the world. I have the one and only, the most fabulous, the most amazing, the most badass of them all. I got the Muffin Man, Craig, in the house. What's up, Craig?
Oh, I appreciate that intro, Sunshine. That's very nice of you. How are you doing this evening?
I am not too bad. No complaints. No complaints. I woke up this morning. I am healthy and breathing, and all I can ask for. What have you been up to today?
You really want to know what I've been up to today? Well, my wife is out of town, so I've been carting kids around, and I was actually cleaning up our chicken and duck coop earlier. So yeah, I was actually shoveling shit earlier. Yeah.
Wow. So you have ducks and chickens?
Yeah, we have 12 ducks and 7 chickens.
Whoa. So let's talk a little bit about that really quick.
Yeah, we have 12 ducks and 7 chickens. Oh, what happened there?
Sorry.
That's all good.
Whoa, sorry, you guys. I had super feedback on my end. Wait, so tell me a little bit about your ducks and your chickens one more time.
We have 12 ducks and 7 chickens that we have here. We moved to a new house a couple years ago, and actually have a little bit of property now, and we actually hatched the majority of those ducks. So yeah, it's been interesting here, as if, you know, having 4 kids already isn't enough. We have to add on to the zoo with, you know, a dog, a cat, 2 birds, chickens, ducks, partridge in a pear tree, you name it. We got too much going on here.
Oh my God, how cute. I love that. I'm a huge animal lover. And there's something super special about birds. I know that their brains are little tiny, but they are just super unique and special. And I've heard that like chickens and ducks actually have like their own personalities. Oh yeah, for sure. They all are very different. We have some very interesting creatures here. So yeah. Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Muffin But Good Vibes. So for those who may not know who you are, give us a little bit of an intro.
I guess I can just kind of break into a little bit of the origin of how the business came about. So probably what it's been 7 years ago now. I just got into making foods. I go places and go to restaurants and try to replicate the food at home. Well, one day, for whatever reason, I decided to make some muffins. Big hit in my household. And then I took them to my oldest daughter's soccer parties, and the parents there were raving about them, telling me, you got to sell these things. And, you know, at that time, I'm like, you know, I also work a corporate job still. So it's like, I don't have time for this. So fast forward to about 3 years later from that, and I fell head over heels with the local reggae rock scene here in San Diego. And so I started taking muffins to local musicians, whether it be, you know, here in town, whether it be guys on tour. You know, I hit them up, say, hey, you guys want some muffins? And they're like, yeah, sure. So I'm taking muffins down to these guys, and all of them are saying, you've got to sell these things. And once again, I'm just like, I don't have time for that. I can't do it. It's not happening. So then COVID comes along, everybody's best friend, COVID. And my work schedule changed. I was at home a little bit more, and I threw it against the wall to see if it would stick. And here we are 2 years later. You know, I've started doing show promotions now. We have 8 collaborative muffins with local bands. And we actually have 13 more in development with other bands. Yeah, I said 13 more. So we're kind of spanning this out now. So I'm kind of trying to mark up the calendar now. So we're looking at basically the next 4 years of planned releases for muffins. So yeah, it's and this doesn't include the local businesses we've connected with, because we're also using, you know, we connect with everybody within the community here. So we're using local products, and we're going to incorporate some of those products. So we'll be having those collaborations also. So there's just a lot going on.
Wow. Oh my God. So basically dreams do come true.
Well, that's the crazy thing too, is like, you would have told me that you know, that I'd be selling muffins and connecting these muffins to reggae music, you know, I would have told you you were out of your damn mind. You know, just 5 years ago, I told you you're crazy. So yeah, it's interesting, you know, how we weave through life and how things change and really, it's interesting that I feel like I've really found my true calling in this. And like I said, you look back at, you know, everything that's happened in your life, and everything's just kind of, it's kind of peaking now, and then now I see this like singular road, and I feel like this is what I'm on now, and this is my goal, and so yeah, we're going for it. So
That is awesome. So are you still working your corporate job, or have you been able to quit it since then?
no, I'm still working it, still doing the corporate thing, but hopefully this will reach a point that, you know, that we can feel comfortable enough financially to separate those ties and continue towards what, you know, our final goal is with this. So
Sure, absolutely. So everybody at home, thank you for hanging out with us. We actually are going to do a few giveaways tonight, so hang in there. We have this awesome pair of Muffin But Good Vibes socks that Sunny C made just for you guys. Then I think Craig has a few things to give away too.
yeah. So as anybody that's seen on social media recently, if they're following us, has seen the event that we announced. So we actually have the pin for the event. We'll give away. So if you can see that clearly or not. But then we also are going to include one of our sticker packs with that. And the cool thing we're doing with our sticker packs now is if there's a holographic sticker in here, then you'll get another pin of your choice as well. So kind of a little golden ticket thing we're doing with our sticker packs.
Oh, look at you all Willy Wonka up in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Let's see who's in the chat. We got 20 people up in this mofo right now. What's up, Don? We got Albert. We got Lindsay. She says, do you know the Muffin Man? We got Amelia Tice. We got Mama Cantu. We got Luigi. He says, a fellow baker. That's right, Luigi.
Yeah, represent.
We got Nene Ram. What's up? He goes, hey, Muffin Man. That's so dope. I'm going to eat your muffins for sure. That is too funny. So tell me, why muffins?
Well, it just became that food, like I mentioned with the soccer parties. Like it just became something that people gravitated towards, and for whatever reason, you know, I just decided to start taking those to bands. I mean, who really, if you think about it, most people, the majority of people aren't going to turn out a muffin. You're like, oh yeah, I'll take a muffin. And the cool thing is it doesn't matter what time of day it is. I mean, especially with what we're doing with some of our crazier flavors. I mean, it's a dessert. I mean, even beforehand, you could still consider dessert. You can eat it for breakfast. You can have a snack for lunch, snack in the afternoon. It doesn't matter. You can eat a muffin any damn time of day. So, hey, why not muffins?
Oh my gosh, my mom would always make muffins for the mailman, and like I swear it was like her little like special treat, you know. And then she started making them for like the damn dentist. And I'm like, Ma, you can't take muffins to your dentist. Like those two don't go together, you know. Let's see, we got Jeff in the house. Amelia says, I want a muffin right now. And Ouija says it's like eating cake for breakfast.
There you go. Exactly.
Tell me a couple of your favorite muffins that you've been able to create with your co-collaborators.
Well, I think, you know, one muffin has become basically the flagship muffin, and it's the one that I always pitch to everybody. So everybody in my family has a flavor. So we're a family of 6 here, and everybody has their own individual flavor. Mine is called the Mac. It's banana, chocolate chip, peanut butter whiskey muffin with an almond and pecan streusel with a maple glaze.
That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot to say.
It's a lot going on. I almost messed it up there too. That was good. Almost messed it up. Yeah, but we actually we use screwball in that muffin. So the peanut butter whiskey.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then let's see. You said 2 flavors. So I don't know. I'm very partial to our most recent collaboration. That was with Brendan Clemente, and so that one is apple butterscotch thyme muffin. So it's called thyme. We use the seasoning thyme in there to kind of play into the name of the song, but we use a cider here locally from a place called Newtopia, and apple cider. And so we use that in the muffin as well. And it's just those two muffins when they're cooking in our house, like the smell of those, mouth is watering the whole time. So even just mixing up the batter, yeah, they're
wow, that's a whole lot. Like, so did like Brendan come to you and kind of give you an idea of what he liked, or was it more you approached Brendan with this idea?
Yeah, so Brendan was one of those ones where I approached him with an idea. There's other times where I'll approach artists and ask them, hey, you know, if you had a muffin, what flavor would it be?
What a question, right? What kind of question is that?
So we kind of take what they say and then we could put a spin on it. Like, so locally we have the Resonators. They had pitched carrot cake to me, so we took it a little notch further and did a carrot cake bourbon muffin. So we use a local bourbon from a distillery here called Shadow Ridge, and went around to a bunch of different distilleries to try to find that right local product. And that's something we do with a lot of these, you know, crazy mixture muffins we do. We try to find something locally, a local business to support, and so we can help highlight them as well.
Awesome. I love that. That's community coming together.
Yep.
Do you also use the eggs from your chickens?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, we can't use those because of restrictions with food code and whatnot, because we're not like licensed egg provider. So, you know, technically we're not supposed to do that. So yeah, the answer to that question is no, we do not. Even though, I mean, the eggs we have are, you know, obviously fresh, and we let our chickens and ducks roam the yard at times, so they're free range, they're very happy animals, so they produce some really good eggs.
So how do we get that egg license is the question, Frank.
Well, I'm hoping at some point, because right now we're just small batch. At some point, though, we obviously want to ramp it up, and, you know, obviously our chickens and ducks couldn't produce enough to what we want to get to eventually. So I don't think it's necessary to go down that road. Plus, it's just more paperwork. I don't need more paperwork. So great question, though.
I'll give you that much. We got Megan Richardson. What's going on, Megan? We're making everybody hungry in the chat here, Craig. Okay, everybody's real hungry for them muffins. How do we get the muffins if we're not in San Diego?
Well, so if you're not in San Diego, well, actually, I haven't really formally announced it yet, but the cottage food code changed here for San Diego County, and with the license that we have, we can actually ship within the state of California. It's the first time I'm putting this out there to the world. So we're gonna start, you know, doing some test runs on sending some muffins. We gotta send some muffins to you, I guess. See if they can make it to Santa Cruz, all right. And you know, so we'll do some test runs on that. Obviously, because of the ingredients we're using, because we're using all natural everything. We try to use organic products as much as possible, and we use no preservatives. There's no fake food dyes. Everything is natural food coloring. So obviously, you have a time frame. You got to eat the muffin within this amount of time. So if we're shipping within California, that's got to be overnighted. So, you know, there can be some price involvement there, but I mean, if people really want the muffins, I guess they'll pay for it. So, but we'll start testing that out soon.
If you really want them muffins, you guys got to pay them delivery fees. You know what I'm saying?
But as far as San Diego goes, we're just doing random offerings over social media right now. We're trying to figure out a process to have on the website to make it a little bit easier for us as far as the order and for customers for the order process. But, you know, it's either those offerings or the events that we're popping up at.
Awesome. We have Hovik in the chat. Hovik is Ellen, the 9-year-old bass playing prodigy, her father. And they are big supporters of the Sunshine Show, and I am huge supporters of them. So hello, Ellen and Hovik.
Hey, what's up?
Love that little girl. She is just tearing it up in ways that I can't even, it just blows my mind, these kids these days, like the shit that they're doing.
Yeah, it's wild.
Let's see who else we have in the chat. We got Jay Bird. He says, "Holy shit,
Hey.
the Craig Monster."
My man.
We got Brian Zach in the house. Yo, big up Muffin. Good vibes.
There we go. Synergy in the house.
Hell yeah. Let's see. Reach says it's so hard to ship. We used to charge for our cookies $20, but the shipping was like $8 because of the weight.
Yeah, and shipping rates have only gotten worse. But like I said, if people want them, I mean, I guess if you really want it, you'll pay for it. So I guess we'll find out. We'll see how it goes.
Yes, sir. We got Jake Schwartz in the house.
Serve a purpose. What's up, brother?
Got all the fam bam here hanging out. Megan Richardson wants to know, when can I get a vacation mode muffin? What is the process? Do artists have to come to you, or do you strictly have to go to them?
Well, a lot of this, I mean, and this goes back to, how the origins of this business and how it started. This was never something that we intended to be a business, and for these connections to happen. So everything was very organic in the beginning, and this was based off of friendship. And so a lot of these guys I'm friends with, and it continues to this point now. We have a number of the other collaborations we have that are coming in the future is because of connections I've made with other people and the friendships I've made within the music community. So I always say we're up for discussion on it, and we'll see what happens. I love chatting with new people. I actually really like that song, by the way, Megan. Really like that song. But yeah, we try to let these things happen as organically as possible now. And with the business growing, with what we've been doing, we've had a lot more people approaching us and asking us that question. So obviously we have to be cautious with these decisions that we make, and make sure that we're connecting with the right people, and that it fits the narrative of our business.
Sure. So long answer short is, I guess they better wait for you to hit them up.
Yes. Thank you for summing it up. I got long-winded. Sorry.
Jay Bird says, anybody who buys muffins during this podcast, I will pay for shipping. Muffin up, people. Muffin up.
I love that, dude.
I do too. We have some really good people here in the chat. I love you all. Thank you guys for hanging out with us on this beautiful Friday evening. Tell me a little bit about the things that you've been preparing for. I know that it's your 2-year anniversary, and you have like an amazing show that you've been putting together. Yeah,
this is I mean, we've been, this is what, the 5th promotional show that I've done, and got pretty ambitious with this one. So booking a place like Music Box here in San Diego, obviously one of the premier venues here in San Diego. And being able to get talent. If people are familiar with Olympic, people are familiar with Man of the Forest. That dude, that violin, it's a thing of beauty. My homies, the Resonators, Cat Hall, has become a good friend of ours. And then getting a headliner like Catastro, I mean, it's crazy. These people that I chat with on a regular basis, and here I am, at Music Box with Catastro headlining. It's an exciting thing. It's nerve-wracking. There's obviously some financial liability that goes along with putting stuff like this together. But it's exciting. It's nice seeing the response from people, and we're always trying to do these events the right way. Right now, our primary intention isn't necessarily, we're not making money. It's building the brand. It's getting Muffin But Good Vibes out there in people's faces, and understanding what we are and the message that we're conveying, and in a matter of understanding that we're here for the artists, we're here for the community. Obviously with having the Knoll Family Foundation involved, I mean, they're just one of the nonprofits that we've connected with in the last 2 years, and it's I'm getting long-winded again. But it's exciting, obviously. And then we have Crystal Dyer. I don't know if you're familiar with her. doing live paintings. It's a really, you know, obviously with having Jimmy O here locally as well. It's really a great addition to shows to add to the experience to see people live painting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then with this one, we have 6 paid sponsors, and it's you know, it's one of those things that I have to take a step back and I look at that bottom, you know, the bottom row on the flyer, and see all these people that are willing to throw money to support, you know, what we're doing. So it's humbling.
That is awesome. I want to talk a little bit about your sponsors, but I have a bunch of people chiming in on the chat, so I don't want to let these go by. Lynn says, ask Craig if he's coming to Winston's.
Oh, tonight? Yeah. Unfortunately, I cannot make it there tonight. My wife is out of town, and I've got the other 3 kiddos with me here. So I'm on dad duty, but I already sent a message to Aaron Wolf, who's down there performing tonight. One of our homies, one of our Muffin collab people, and you know, wishing him the best for his show tonight.
Awesome. My mama says she wants 12 chocolate chip muffins for her grandson who lives in LA. How much for that order?
Well, let me get that the shipping cost figured out, and we'll get that figured out. We'll get mom hooked up.
That'll be awesome. We could try it with Lucas. Since he's in LA, that's a little closer than Santa Cruz. So we'll start with LA, then we'll get to Santa Cruz after that.
There we go.
Let's see. Weege wants to know, any ambitions for owning a brick and mortar shop someday?
Yes, that's I mean, that's the final goal. And the thing is, you know, with obviously with the musical influence of what we're doing, it's not just a matter of having, you know, the bakery, coffee shop. We want to have that, and on the flip side of that, we want to have a tiki bar with a music venue. So it's kind of like all these things that are happening right now. Obviously, with me being involved with promotional work, it's all a learning process for me, and understanding, and then, you know, connecting it all together, and having my own spot. And the thing that I think is great about it too, with, you know, obviously I've made these friendships before this was a business, and so I've seen all the bullshit that musicians go through when they're coming up, and you know, I want to try to help change that narrative a little bit to make it so it's more focused on those artists, and making it easier for them to have shows, and to get a stage to perform on. So, you know, it's all part of our intention, really trying to change that narrative, because we always preach community, and you can't preach it without following through on it, and that's what we're doing. It's everything is about community. So
awesome. Fuck yeah, man. I cannot wait to be there for the grand opening of that store, because that is definitely something I will fly down for the opening. I want some of them muffins.
Yeah.
Let's see, we got Leaf Arrow in the chat. What's up, Leaf? Nene Ram says, I need to see the menu. I'm a picture kind of guy.
Okay, well, we don't have pictures of everything yet, but we do have a lot of the flavors up on our website. So just go to www.muffinbutgoodvibes.com, and there's a side page that has the muffin flavors we have right now. We have 21 flavors that we have in the bag right now, and like I said, we have the other 13, about 19 others that are in the back of my head in development. So a lot of wild shit is coming. So
wow, how exciting. Like, I would have never even thought of like a muffin shop or like a muffin business, you know, and it's so cool to see you, like, this is like your brainchild, and it's like going up, and you're like figuring it all out, and it's about to explode and become this huge thing, and I'm here for it. I'm here for the whole thing.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's interesting how some things that come together, and, you know, you kind of look back, you know, I'm 42 now, and you look back, and you see all these things that you went through, and all, you know, all this shit, and it kind of starts, like I said, I had mentioned earlier, everything just it's becoming a singular road now, and how all these things are connected together. You know, one thing that I've never really noticed that I've been good at, and people keep complimenting me on, is networking. But I look back at my time in the military, so I did well there. It's what I've done in the corporate world, and it's now what I'm doing with Muffin But Good Vibes. And, you know, and obviously networking is very important when you're trying to build a brand. So it's just kind of been an additional thing with my success right now is apparently my networking skills that I wasn't really aware of, because it's a second nature thing for me. So yeah.
Wow, very cool. If anybody needs some pointers, some tips, some networking 101, hit up your boy Craig for a very low fee. He can help you out too. Hell yeah, Craig. Let's talk a little bit about why reggae. Why do you have such why are you drawn to the genre of music?
So that this is where people are going to start getting some of those trivia questions that I've thrown up on Instagram to see if people, I mean, they're like almost impossible questions for people to get, but here we are. People are going to get some answers to those questions now. So back in high school, I was a massive hip hop head and into R&B. I mean, that was my jam. Like I had the clothes that were way too big for me, a little bit of pant sagging going on. Walking with a little limp. Yeah, that was me back in high school.
Oh, you were gangsta then.
Yeah, in Kansas. I grew up in Kansas. But a little hick town in Kansas, no less. I grew out in the country. I'm really actually from the country. But went into the military, and then I started falling for rock, ska, punk, really started getting that stuff hard. And then it's transitioned into metal, and it just in some of the shows I saw here in San Diego too. I mean, I have to mention, like, seeing at small venues here in San Diego, seeing the Deftones, seeing Queens of the Stone Age. Like, I mean, I'm talking small venues that these guys played at. I mean, it was not something obviously you'd see nowadays. But from there, I kind of transitioned into, I had a little bit of period of jazz. I got big into jazz for a little bit. And then of all things, because I use Amazon for streaming, and I never pay attention to the recommendations. Always the little message that pops up, hey, check out this song by. And I'm like, no. But for whatever reason, I got a recommendation for Iration and the song Reelin'. And so for whatever reason, I clicked on it. I was like, what is this? And, so from there, I started digging deeper, obviously went into Revolution and Soja, like all the big names. But then that's when I started going a little bit deeper. And then I started looking for local bands. And that's what started that connection for initially, when I just reach out to local bands and be like, hey, you want some muffins? That's how it all started with the reggae thing. But I think the really interesting thing for me, because I grew up in Kansas. So there's also there's that preconceived thought of what reggae is. It's only thinking of roots and the Jamaican Jamaican roots. Like that's it. That's in Kansas. That's all you know. But here you suddenly start finding about the island reggae, the obviously the SoCal the rock reggae scene. There's so many different elements. But what's cool is you take all of those genres that I mentioned before, and in a lot of songs in reggae, that's what it is. It's smashed together. You get so many elements, obviously of soul. You start talking about the horns, and you start talking about the jazz elements, and it's like that's why I've connected so well with the reggae rock scene, is because I feel like it's taken every genre that I've listened to in my life, kind of weave my way through. And then here I am now listening to this, and I'm my wife, she thinks I'm obsessed. I might be just a little bit, but I mean, but it's also, yeah, just a tiny bit. But obviously it's the messages that you get within reggae. They're much different, and it's that vibe, and it's reaching things on a different level, spiritual level on a lot of things, and it really makes you take a step back. But I mean, obviously you have other songs too that it's not all just about positive vibes, and I think that's another issue we have with music in general. Everybody thinks everything's got to be positive. Like, no, we don't need that. We don't need positive all the time. So we definitely get that influence with a lot of the reggae scene as well. So I mean, it's just cool seeing all these elements. And for whatever reason, it was that song, Iration, Reelin'. Remember that, people, because that's a trivia question I've thrown up to get free swag on a number of occasions, and no one's come anywhere near it. Nowhere close. But now you know. but yeah, it's and I think too, I should elaborate a little bit more that with all of those, before when I go to rock, rock shows or metal shows, and they have the meet and greets there, right? It's just cow herding. They just send you through, and they're like, hey, scribble their signature, hey, and everybody just keeps moving through. Well, the experience, you want me to go with my initial experience with a VIP situation here?
Yeah,
okay, so it was for Through the Roots. Tyrone's Jacket, another one of my favorite bands on the planet, we're playing there as well. And so we're backstage, and their manager rolls through and says, all the VIPs are going to have to leave. So, everybody kind of puts their head down and, starts walking out. And me and the guy I was with there, we just kind of stood there for a minute. And Cork from Through the Roots, he goes, nah, guys, no, just wait. And so we're like, okay. And then he turns around, looks at us, and goes, John Stamos. I'm like, we look at each other like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? And he's like, John Stamos, guys, John Stamos. I'm like, dude, what does that mean? So he walks over to the security guy, this mountain of a Samoan man. And he's like, tell them John Stamos. So this guy turns to us like this deep, deep voice with hands big enough to grab my head and just crush it. And he goes, yeah, John Stamos is the password to get backstage. So for the rest of that night, we're hanging out back there. I'm sitting there talking to Evan, talking to Court, and then I also went up to the other green room at the place, and I was sitting there talking to Tyrone's Jacket. And it was mind-boggling that I'm here with these guys. I have so much respect for their music, and they're treating me like I'm one of their friends, and it was wild. So that night goes on, and Through the Roots finishes playing, and they're coming off the stage, and so I jam back real quick back to the green room again, and they're coming off stage and like, Craig, what'd you think, man? Like, come and give me a hug, and I'm just like, what is going on? And it's been that repeat experience with so many other shows that I've been to now. And it speaks volumes of the reggae community and that whole message that we're, I guess that might be really what it was built from that was, the community vibe, recognizing that and building on that. And here we are building community and making these connections as well. And so I guess, Cork yelling John Stamos at me was part of the process. So here we are. Yeah.
Dude, I love that story. That is actually really fucking cool. Thank you guys all for hanging out with us. I hope you are listening to what Craig's putting out there, because we're about to give away this pair of socks right here, celebrating the 2nd anniversary of Muffin But Good Vibes. We have Brett Coleman in the house.
Hey.
What is up, Brett?
Vibes alive.
Vibes alive, baby. The first person who can tell me what was the password to get backstage will get this lovely pair of socks. First person to tell me what the password was for Craig to get backstage. All right, let's see here. Gotta reboot my thingy really quick. Okay. All right, good. All right, Craig, awesome. So my mom wants to know, who is your favorite group? Can you even give us your favorite group?
Oh, jeez. Oh, man, that's a lot of pressure, considering, there's a bunch of these guys that come back and watch this later or listen to it later and be like, oh, what the hell, Craig? You didn't say us, man? I'm like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. Oh, that is tough. Well, I already mentioned one of my favorites. That Tyrone's Jacket is I don't know what it is. Those 3 people are some very, very talented musicians, and they resonate with me. But then another recent one that I have to shout out, because it's going back to that whole the R&B from high school, and that was 90s R&B. Which, other than the Roots, I still considered to be the best generation of R&B. But there's a local kid named Orion Song, and man, Man, it just reminds me of that 90s vibe, and had a really great conversation with him, and that was, it is the influence of his music, because his dad would play that music all the time. So he's got that Craig David, John B kind of vibe going on, and it's a thing of beauty.
So his name is Orion what?
Orion Song.
Orion Song, everybody. Yes. Orion Song. Okay, the winner of these Muffin But Good Vibes socks is Nene Ram. Looks like you were the first person to say John Stamos. Brett also answered. Jeremy Hill answered. Lori answered. Thank you guys all for playing along. We still have 2 more things to give away, so don't go yet. Let's see. We got Paul in the house. What's up, Paul? You're never late to the party, baby. As long as you attend the party, it's still a party. And Brett says, resonates with him. Much love to the Resonators.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. The Resonators are family to me now. They're one of the originals. And those guys are family to Muffin But Good Vibes. So.
Hell yeah. So this question might go along with the last one, but my mom wants to know, who do you listen to while you're baking your muffins?
I have a playlist that is, I think it's like 6 days long right now, I think. Just random songs.
Is it up on Spotify? Do you have like a Muffin But Good Vibes playlist?
So we do have a playlist on there that has all of our collaborations that we've done. So and then it also has the song that was created by Snug It Loose. He created a jingle for us. So you can find that on Spotify also, Muffin But Good Vibes. We actually have a song out there.
Wait, how does the jingle go? I want to do a little jingle with you, Craig.
Well, hey, we're always looking for remixes, so hey, we're always down for the idea.
What? Can you sing it to me, or give me like a lip?
Dude, I'm not gonna sing. You're not gonna get me to sing sometime. That's a good attempt. I mentioned before that I had that shot of whiskey, and I'd have to have a few more shots of whiskey before you'd even get me to start singing. So yeah.
Hey, well, we still got 20 more minutes before we're at the hour, so you have plenty of time to take plenty of shots of singing and drinking together. Let's see. Jake Schwartz says Muffin But Good Vibes playlist. We need that.
It's there. It's on Spotify. It is there.
Oh, it is there. Okay, so after the interview, you guys, we will definitely drop the link to the playlist in the chat. Make sure you go and subscribe to that. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just scared. They can go to the About page on the website, and there's a link to it on there that will take you straight to it.
Perfect. So, Paul, I'm sorry you're not feeling good, but thank you for hanging out, and I hope that you start feeling better very soon.
Get to feeling better, Paul.
So let's talk a little bit about I know we've talked a little bit about some of the artists that you've worked with. Can we expand a little bit more? I mean, I know you've been going for 2 years now. You put on a bunch of shows. You've worked with a bunch of people. Who are some of the other people you've worked with, Craig?
So we had, we came out of the chute pretty strong in our first year. We had six collaborations in our first year. So we had with K-Bong, with New Leaf, Ocean Natives, the Resonators, Cincy Trails, and Skylar Lutz. And then in our second year, we kind of slowed down because I can't keep putting out 6 a year. I think it's a bit much, from a marketing standpoint. So kind of trying to space things out, like I mentioned earlier. We had over the next 4 years, we're planning out the other ones. But in year number 2, we have Aaron Wolf and then Brendan Clemente. So we have 8 total right now.
Okay.
But then we've also connected with a local place called Kapu Coffee. So we actually have a muffin that we use their coffee concentrate in. We did our collaboration muffin with Hiking My Feelings. We actually have a sugar-free version of that. That's a diabetic-friendly muffin. So, and then for instance, like with Skylar Lutz, his muffin is vegan. Aaron Wolf's muffin is gluten-free, vegan. So yeah, we're trying to, you know, cater to, the different dietary needs.
That's
So yeah,
awesome.
but it's tough though. Like, so I guess kind of go back to Skylar Lute's muffin. It was one of the most challenging muffins that we created because it's layered. So, and it's called Little Beach Town after his song. But being Little Beach Town, he's from OB. So the muffin is zucchini walnut muffin. Now, what we do is that zucchini is representative of seaweed from the ocean. The walnuts are crushed finely, so almost grittiness. So it's representing the beach, the sand. And so then on top of that, we use a matcha in the streusel to kind of give it that green color, so it looks like the cliffside bushes. So basically, the muffin, it's definitely our most artistic one we've done. You know, it's taking you from the beaches, or from the ocean to the beach to the cliff sides, and it's called Little Beach Town.
Oh my God, that is so cool. Like, you thought out all the little things and put it all together in a little package.
Yeah, and we use a product called butterfly pea powder, and that's what gets the blue color. And that was the most challenging part with that. Obviously, there was the vegan elements and trying to keep that consistency as similar to what people would expect from a muffin. But then to have that natural food coloring can be challenging at times. But we were finally able to pull that one together. And the funny thing with that how that muffin actually came to fruition is, initially he has a song called Burn, and we have a mango habanero muffin. And so that was originally intended to be his muffin, but then it became my mother-in-law's favorite muffin. So we actually call that one the mother-in-law, because sometimes they're sweet and then other times they burn. So, so we kind of went back to the drawing board with Skylar, and that's how Little Beach Town came about. So, yeah, it's with every single muffin we have on the menu, there is a story behind it. It's not just just randomized flavors. There's intention behind everything that we do, and and it also can be said about our merchandise, about our shows. There's intention behind everything. So,
wow, damn, Craig, this is deep. This is a lot deeper than I thought.
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing. Leaf
Thank you.
says he's getting the munchies over here. Me and you both, Leaf. We're all getting the munchies over here. If you guys have any questions for Craig, drop them in the comments. We have about 15 minutes left in this here interview. It has gone by so fast. So if you guys have any questions, just drop them there. We're going to keep rocking and rolling. We also have 2 things to give away whenever you want to facilitate that, Craig. That's totally up to you. You want to do a giveaway right now?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. What are we giving away?
We're giving away the pin for our upcoming April 5th event. It's our 2-year anniversary pin. And then got a sticker pack. And like I said, if you receive one of these sticker packs and there is a holographic sticker inside there, you get your choice of another pin. We have a handful of other pins on our website as well.
Oh yeah, awesome. So let's go ahead and do, are you still there? Okay, there you are. Let's do the pin. The first person that can tell me what band turned Craig onto the reggae scene will grab that pin. The first band that turned Craig onto the reggae scene will win that. Drop the answer in the comments. Hell yeah. Oh shit. Nene Ram won again. Iration. That is cool.
She's on it. She's on it.
Oh my God. And Brett right after him. You guys got to be a little bit faster because damn, Nene, he is on it today. He wants all the muffins, all the socks, and all the pins.
Well, I think there's definitely been some other trivia questions we've thrown out there. So I guess this could be a good platform to kind of go over some of that stuff so people will finally have the knowledge in their heads.
Yeah.
So going back to before this was a business, there was an artist in particular that the second time they came back out to San Diego, he actually put in a request for a specific muffin flavor. And I attribute that moment to being, you know, where the creative juices really started flowing and like thinking more outside the box on muffin flavors. So that person was Jackson Weatherby of the Elevators. And and when he came back out, it was actually the last show. I believe it was the last show at Winston's before the pandemic. So I actually didn't go to the show because, you know, everything was a little screwy at that time. But I actually didn't go into the show. I went down there and took the muffins to them though. And it's one of those moments, you know, you just never forget. I just roll up, I go on the tour bus, I give him the muffins. And so he tries this muffin that I created based off, you know, the flavors that he said. And he goes, you go through life and you eat muffins, and you're like, yeah, that's a good muffin. And then he picks up our muffin. He's like, and then this comes into your life, and you're like, this is a fucking muffin. And it's like, so it was, you know, in that moment that, you know, I started, you know, thinking, because that was what, mid-March, right before the pandemic. And so it was April 1st that we launched the brand. It's kind of crazy how everything just kind of lined up during that time. How, you know, back in October of 2019, I had gone through and got all the, you know, the web domain, all the social media handles, and I locked all that in and worked out the logo design with my good friend Mike Corley, who's a freaking genius when it comes to creating logos. So if you're looking to get a logo made, go hit up Mike Corley. But yeah, it's just it's crazy how, like I said, all of these little roads, you know, everything came together and it put us on the path we're on right now. So
that's amazing. Let's see, Brett Coleman is signing off for the night. Thank you for hanging out with us, Brett. Have a good Friday. So you mentioned the design work. I want to talk a tiny bit about the different artists that you've used, because you have some amazing graphics and logos.
Yeah, so the aforementioned Mike Corley, he's the one that designed all of our primary logos. So that what's on your head right now, what's on the shirt you're wearing right now, and then the brand new one that we just put out. He designed all of those. The majority of the other artwork has been by Justin Oltisvig, who is a genius.
He designed the shirt you're wearing.
Yeah, there you go. See, I mean, it's everywhere. Yeah, he's good. And it was funny on this last one that I just told him white tiger, squid, mushrooms, and tropical plants with a muffin. That's all I said to him. And then I said, and go. And then he comes back and creates this what I consider to be our best artwork yet. I mean, it's just phenomenal what the guy can create off just a few words. Another one that should be mentioned that we've worked with is Amber Crouch. She did the artwork for the Resonators tour that we sponsored, the Attack of the Good Vibes. So it's like a giant, like almost like Scooby-Doo style muffin chasing after the Resonators done in that same style. Just phenomenal artwork. And so yeah, we've been talking to a number of other artists. We got some stuff coming up that we'll start working with some other artists as well. But obviously we'll keep coming back to Oltisvig and definitely want to do another piece with Amber as well. But yeah, it's just been me just spitting out an idea, and then they return these gorgeous works of art. So it's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is really cool. And that is definitely something that sets you apart. A lot of things set you apart from others. Obviously, there's not ever really been, I've never met a Muffin Man before. You're like the Muffin Man, you know, real life. Here you are.
And before we get too much further, we also have to give a shout out to the Muffin Queen. I wish she could be here with us tonight to do this, but she is off carting around one of our other kids in Arizona. So, but she definitely deserves a lot more credit than she gets. Obviously, I've become the face of this business. The majority of all the photography work that you see of Muffin's merchandise, and she's started doing some stuff at events now as well, has been her. Be Mine, which is one of our most popular muffin flavors. It's actually our Valentine's Day muffin. It's a white chocolate raspberry muffin, and it's got this amazing raspberry glaze that she goes through, like a process it's painstaking, and it's one of those things that, I guess you can attribute it to music. Everybody, it's real easy to walk up to a stage and listen to music, but not see everything that happens behind it. And it's the same way with any artist, where artwork, or with bakers, culinary artists. Nobody ever sees what's going on behind the scenes and all the work that takes place to create stuff. But anyways, I digress. Going back to the Muffin Queen, she is a very, very important part of this business. She early on, because her mom is an amazing baker as well. The pies and cookies that woman makes.
She gets it from her mama.
Yeah, she helped hone some of those raw skills I have, because I don't have culinary background. There's zero culinary background. So she helped hone in, and she helped improve the product. So everyone always sees this everywhere, but so much credit needs to be given to her as well. So big ups to the Muffin Queen.
Yes, big up to the Muffin Queen. Maybe next time we can chat it up with her. That'd be a lot of fun. My Mama Cantu says, "You got a great smile, Muffin Man."
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
My mom is always hitting on the guest. I tell you what, she just has no boundaries. Let's see. Lynn says she's back. Did you miss me? We always miss you, Lindsay, when you're away. We always miss you so much. Let's see. We are going to start wrapping this up in about 6 minutes. Do you want to give away the sticker pack? If so, what question do you want to ask? I'm going to leave it to you this time, Mr. Muffin Man.
All right. So who was the artist that put in a request that got the creative juices flowing? Who was the artist? I mean, if people don't remember the artist, you can just say the name of the band. That'll work too, in case people don't remember the name exactly. Dum 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 dum.
Let's see. Lindsay says Craig is hands down one of the nicest dudes I know. Happy to see this. I'm so happy that we are hanging out together, Craig.
Yeah, this is rad. I really appreciate this.
Please, is the answer the elevators?
Yeah, we'll take that. That's why I said it could be the band. Yeah, it was Jackson Weatherby of the Elevators.
Oh my God, Nene, you cannot win again. I'm sorry, my brother. Okay, look, you can't win every single prize. You've already won 2 of the prizes. Maybe we'll send you some muffins. Well, you got to ask another question, Craig, because we got to let somebody else win something.
Oh man, what can we ask here?
What's up, Jessica Harper in the chat? How you doing?
Jeez, I don't want to make it too difficult. Name one of the bands that we collaborate with.
One of the bands that Muffin But Good Vibes collaborates with. Drop it in the chat for your chance to win a sticker pack. My mama asks, does he make buttermilk? Do you make buttermilk pie, Muffin Man?
It was cutting up or breaking up a little bit there. What was the question?
My mom wants to know, do you make buttermilk pie?
Buttermilk pie? I do not.
No, mother, you're gonna have. She's been looking for buttermilk pie. Like literally, she had her boyfriend running around looking for buttermilk pie. Okay, we got Lindsay with Brendan Clemente in the chat. So Lindsay, winner with chicken dinner, baby.
Nice. Congrats, Lindsay.
You have won a sticker pack. If you get a holographic sticker in your sticker pack, you have the chance of winning a pin from the website. So everybody that's won tonight, which is Nene Ram and Lindsay, please send me your address so we can get your prizes out to you. My mom, the Beatles. You should see the answers. There's so Revolution, Soldier, the Beatles. current collaboration people. Okay. Ooh, Jeremy Hill says buttermilk pecan ice cream. Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I'm about it. I'm about it. My favorite ice cream is what is it? Praline, pecan praline. Is that a ice cream?
Good choice. Yeah, that
And
is.
sherbet. I love sherbet too.
There you go.
So those are my favorite ice creams. You guys too can drop your favorite ice creams in the comment section. So what's next, Craig? I mean, you guys have a whole damn 4-year plan. I mean,
Yeah, and we have some other projects right now that are massive, that are still too far under wraps for us to reveal what exactly they are. But it's just more of that push to get the brand in people's faces. To just all it's all about for us right now is brand recognition, and we are trying to do more promotional events. What we're really trying to push right now is our Muffin But Good Vibes acoustic sessions. We've had a couple events now that have been acoustic events. We had an all ladies lineup last year in October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
nice.
We had Cat Hall, Doa's Daydream was there. And then most recently, we actually had Joe Samba from out in New Hampshire. Actually, he's not in New Hampshire. That's where he grew up. But anyways, the East Coast reggae guy,
Nice.
Joe Samba, was out here, and it was actually his management that hit us up to make the event happen. So it was a lot of fun. There's a video on YouTube that people can go check out. It was a recap, a little montage of the event. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, we're trying to push those acoustic sessions harder. Like I said, there's some stuff happening right now that we can't fully reveal what's happening, but please stay tuned. If you're not following Muffin But Good Vibes on Instagram, definitely give us a follow. And we've got some fun stuff ahead. And obviously we have this music box show, our next promotional event, is a big step for us, platform wise. So it's everything with us is building brand recognition, and trying to lead towards that road of having our own place, so that we no longer have to go and pop in or rent out other spaces. We'll have a space that's our own. So that's the goal right now.
Hell yeah. Well, we're here for it, Craig. We are so excited to see this journey and just see you really fucking flourish and take over an industry that I don't know really exists. I mean, I know baking and all that shit, but I feel like you have a whole concept, a whole fucking vision that you're running with, and I'm so excited to see it all play out. There's a guy, and he posts up on the cliff on the weekends, and he calls himself the Santa Cruz bread boy, and he bakes everything at home, and he literally has like a little like motorcycle and his like little basket in the back with all his like baked goods and stuff, and he like sets up on the beach, and I mean he always sells out every single time. So that just kind of reminds me of you a little bit, in entrepreneurship, and like just really like going for it and not letting things like stop you. And dude, I'm so fucking proud of you and all your successes. Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. We're gonna start wrapping this up, but one question I ask all of my guests: if you could throw a dinner party and invite any 5 musicians, dead or alive, who would those musicians be, and what would you serve at your dinner party?
Man. Well, one of them would definitely be Guru. Gangstar. If you familiar with Guru? I'm hoping you're familiar with Guru. No. If you're not familiar with Guru, go check out. But he did these things called Guru's Jazzmatazz, where he mixed hip hop with jazz, and it's just the dude was a genius. So I'd love to sit at a table with him. Rest in peace to him. Jeez, you said 5?
You got this, Craig. You got this.
Whew. Well, my last name is McKnight, and everybody always used to call me Brian McKnight. I was a huge fan of that dude. So yeah, I'd love to sit and chill and talk with Brian McKnight as well. Josh Home is definitely another one. I think, am I saying his last name right? From Queens of the Stone Age. Like to pick that dude's brain. That would be another fun one. I think Dave Grohl is there too.
Yes.
That would be a lot of fun. One more. Oh jeez. Oh. This is tough. Oh. And I remember listening to some of the old episodes. I remember you asking this question, and I should have been a little more prepared, but I'm not. Oh, jeez.
It's a hard one. It's definitely a tough one.
It's very difficult. I guess really I'd have to continue down that hip hop road of mine, because one of those guys that I think if I ever met in real life, because I don't normally get starstruck, because everybody's just people. Yeah, that's all, just people. But I don't know if I came face to face with Busta Rhymes, I might have a little issue. I might start tripping over myself. So I guess I'll go with Busta Bus.
Hell yeah, dude! I love Busta Rhymes. Oh my god. Okay, and so what are you serving at your dinner party?
What am I saying? Well, I think we're gonna have to do some seared ahi.
Ooh.
Some seared ahi. That's my jam for sure. We can throw in some fish tacos too. I'm always down for some fish tacos. Yeah, I think that'll do. I think that's. Yeah. I'm pretty simple. I don't really need. I guess if Lindsay's still on here, she did call me bougie the other day because of my choice of cocktails, but I am very particular about my cocktails. So I guess we'd have bougie drinks there as well.
Oh yeah. Bougie drinks, fish tacos, and Busta Rhymes. You can't go wrong. That combination.
That would be it would be interesting.
Hell yeah. What, do you play any instruments?
I do not. Man, I wish I did.
Never too late, Craig.
It's never too late. I know, I've been told that. It's never too late. Maybe I need to take a crack at it. Yeah, but I got my kids, my oldest boy is playing saxophone, and then the twins are also playing saxophone and trumpet. So, and then my two oldest used to do piano lessons as well. So there's at least I'm getting the kids involved in it. So
hey, you have enough for a whole family band. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm not gonna sing though.
Well, I mean, not yet. After a couple of shots of whiskey, we can, present you the microphone. But your kids, get them ready so they could get their little jazz quintet going for whenever you open your store. Then you got your little in-house band right there.
There we go. It's an idea. I'm gonna jot that one down.
Oh yeah, that was my first gig, playing at the coffee shops, doing jazz in the little jazz quintets. And I was in high school at the time, and I just loved it so much. Jazz was always my number one. I played all through college, and then I transitioned into reggae pretty easily after that. All right, Craig, we have been going for over an hour. We're going to start wrapping this up. Time is precious. We are so happy to have you on the show. Everybody at home, thank you guys for hanging out and having a really good time with us. One last question. What's your best piece of advice that you could give everybody listening at home?
Well, I'm glad you bring that up, because there's one other thing I wanted to chat about. And I think it's real simple, to look at, social media as we all do at times, and all you see is primarily the good stuff, right? You don't see behind the scenes, and it kind of goes back to earlier about talking about, it's really easy to present a muffin or present a song at an event, but people don't see all the struggle and strife that happens behind the scenes. And one thing, because obviously the name of the business, Muffin But Good Vibes, we're not about toxic positivity. It's not the intention in the name. You know, it's a clever name, and it has a nice ring, and it fits well with, you know, the things that we're doing. But what we want people to understand is that it's not always good vibes. You know, that's just not life. That's not reality for anyone. And to know that even for me, like I have anxiety. I've gotten a lot better with it in the last 2 years, you know, learning this process. But early on, I was a wreck. So I guess the message is, you know, whatever struggles you may be going through, don't use social media as the bar. You don't base that. You know, look at yourself, set goals for yourself, and take care of yourself and grow. But don't grow by being in comparison to other people or comparison to what you see on social media, because not everything is good vibes. And it all goes back into what we're trying to do with this business is that we've actually had moments where people are, you know, they seem upset, and you offer them a muffin. And something as simple as a muffin can take someone's, you know, whatever thoughts they're having can be pushed to the side for the moment, and they're enjoying this muffin, and they're in that moment. And so even if we're bringing people that moment of happiness and whatever dark and despair they may be experiencing in life, you know, that's part of our intention. It's taking care of people, trying to lift each other. And I say this time and time again. People have heard me say it time and time again. It's cliche as fuck, but there's strength in numbers. And until we realize that, you know, as a whole, just humanity in general, we're not going anywhere. You have to help out the person next to you. It's as simple as that. And granted, I didn't go through, you know, in my 20s, even in my 30s, I didn't have that train of thought. You know, seeing a homeless person on the side of the road, you know, and you have that thought of, you know, oh, you know, whatever, they're scum or whatever. You know, everybody's had that thought at some point in their life until you get the understanding of maybe taking a moment to put yourself in their shoes and see why they got to where they are. We all have our stories. We all have our skeletons in the closet. And it's just those small moments of working together, of showing kindness to other people, that we can grow and we can become better together. So getting long-winded again here.
Thank you. I was already thinking in my head, ooh, this is going to be a nice little clip where I could just do like a 2 minutes of Craig and, you know, giving really good advice, because everybody needs to hear that. So no, continue. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
No, it all just comes back to the point, like Muffin But Good Vibes and the content we create. Yeah, there's a lot of happiness to it, but there's a lot of struggle behind this. There's a ton of anxiety, there's a ton of stress. There's the financial worry. Am I doing the right thing? I've had so many moments of being like, do I just hang this shit up? But you know, it's one of those things. You step back, you process, you look at what you're doing, you look at the positives, and you keep moving forward. And I think the same can be said for just about anybody in life. You just sometimes you know. I think a good comparison that I made in a conversation with my good friend Sydney Williams with Hiking My Feelings, a nonprofit organization that everybody should go check out, is that you see a wall up ahead, and what I used to do is I would run, and I'd run square into that wall, and it'd flatten me, and you know, and I wouldn't know where to go. I'd be on the ground. Now I feel like I have an approach to that wall. I see that wall coming, and now I start thinking, how do I get around this wall? And now I'm coming slowly up to it, and then I'm figuring my way how to traverse that wall. So it's just a different frame of mind, and I think that's what just like I said, just people just need to take a step back, look at the positives, and find room to grow, because I mean we're all going through shit, especially in these last 2 years. I mean that's what's wild with this business is we created this in the midst of COVID, and really, for me, you know, it's been beneficial. Like a lot of people can't say that, but I can say it has, because all of these musicians that we've connected with, they'd have been out on tour. you know, we wouldn't have these interactions that we've had with musicians if it wasn't for COVID. And so it's another one of those things that, you know, we've taken a seriously negative thing and turned it around into a positive thing. And for me, it's opened up this avenue of being able to connect with people in a way that I've never connected with people. And it's an amazing feeling when you know, like I said, you see someone who's down in the dumps, you give them a muffin and suddenly they're smiling. And even just for a minute, they're smiling, but it's a really great feeling. And we can't wait to just keep building on that and get to a point where we have that venue where we're able to facilitate, you know, on a larger scale. You know, and you know, obviously there's we didn't really touch much on the nonprofit influence that we have. I mean, everything we do, we're giving to nonprofits.
Okay.
So I actually, let's just shout out a few of them right now. So obviously the Knoll Family Foundation. I've already mentioned Hiking My Feelings, the Sidewalk Project. You familiar with the Sidewalk Project?
I know that Beebs works with them in LA a lot.
Yep, for sure. Just a great organization connecting with the homeless community and trying to change that narrative that, you know, that I mentioned earlier that a lot of people have towards people that are on the streets. And then also another really rad organization. I hope I'm saying right, out of Santa Monica is Color the Water. Basically, they're trying to get like people of color back on the water because, as we well know, surfing has become whitewashed. But you know, people don't realize, you know, the roots behind surfing, and so they're trying to bring knowledge to the table, you know, and bring surf equity back to the water, and get people that normally wouldn't be on that water back out on the water. So it's a really rad organization called Color the Water. And their content on social media is worth checking out too. There's a maestro in charge of that. And then
we'll make sure to drop all those nonprofits in the comment section. You guys make sure to go and follow all of them.
Yeah, for sure. And then I mean, there's some other local ones. A good friend of ours with Monty and Mo's. It's a local food pantry. It's helping out families with food with school kids that, you know, that don't have the food or supplies they need for school. So she's doing a lot of great work. It's our good friend Mo. But yeah, we've connected with so many different nonprofits, and we hope to connect with so many more and get this business to a point where we can actually, you know, give a substantial amount. I mean, any amount helps. And you know, that's one of those things that people need to realize too with dealing with nonprofits is if you can even give them $1, that dollar is going to go a long way. So yeah, but I think I've kind of off the rails a little bit here.
Oh, no, you're good. That's amazing. I mean, I think that it's important. Muffin But Good Vibes is all about the community. You guys are sourcing local organic ingredients. You guys are giving back with the nonprofits. You guys are working with local bands. I mean, everything about your company screams, you know, community and bringing the community together and giving back. And you are just an amazing and inspirational and motivational person for a lot of people to like look at, and you must inspire so many people. So thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, well, I guess let's I could have gone short and sweet with the advice, but it's really to tell people to go out there and try to find a passion. Whatever you feel passionate about, don't let the normal constraints of life tell you no. Because so many people are, you know, so many talented people, they won't take that next step. You know, for me, you know, it took COVID for me to take that next step. So what I'm just encouraging people is whatever you're passionate about, just go for it. I mean, it can't hurt to try. You know, even if it's just a little tiny side hobby, but at least you're taking a little bit of time out of your day to pursue something you're passionate about. Because, you know, so many of us work jobs for you know, corporations or for businesses that, you know, if we died tomorrow, they'd replace us the next day. Yeah. So if you can find something that's yours, that you can call yours, there's somebody out there who's going to take notice. Whether you have one fan or you have 1 million fans, there's going to be somebody that takes notice. So take that step. take that step.
Hell yeah, Craig. I couldn't have said it better myself, especially because I'm extra caffeinated today. I won't be sleeping tonight. That's for damn sure. I will be working on making my dreams come true. And everybody at home, everybody listening on the podcast, I hope you all take these words to heart and write them down, put them up on the wall, and read them every morning when you wake up as your daily affirmation that you too can make your dreams come true. Craig, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to seeing the videos from the bash that's about to go down April 5th at Music Box in San Diego.
Yeah, I can't wait. Lot of nerves right now, but there's a lot of excitement too. So yeah,
kind of comes with it kind of comes with the territory, right? Nerves and anxiety kind of go hand in hand. I hope everybody make sure to go and follow Muffin But Good Vibes. Did you say that you have a YouTube channel as well?
Yeah, and we're gonna have a lot more content coming. That's related to that the acoustic sessions that I was talking about. So yeah, if we can anywhere you can follow us, check it out. We have a lot more content planned, and it's coming. It's coming.
Oh yeah! All right. Well, happy 2-year anniversary. You guys are on your way to well, you guys are already super successful. I just can't wait to see what else is coming up. You know, you said you have surprises, so we'll be waiting.
Oh, yeah.
Those are. All right. Do you have any last words before we get out of here, Craig?
No, anybody that tuned in tonight, I appreciate it. Anybody that listens to the replay back of this, appreciate it. And like you already said, just go and give us a follow. We got a lot of stuff coming, and we hope you join us for the journey.
Oh yeah, you guys. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. Make sure to follow Muffin But Good Vibes. We'll definitely have to do this again with the Muffin Queen. Okay, the Muffin King and the Muffin Queen together. Until then, you guys make sure to be kind. You never know what battles people are struggling with. Make sure to smile and stay safe out there. All right, Craig, keep baking them muffins, and I look forward to talking to you next time.
Yeah, can't wait.
Peace.
Later.